And breaking news in Colleton County, where Alex Murdaugh, the one-time lawyer, now convicted murderer, is headed to prison for life. The judge gave Murdaugh 2 life sentences with no possibility for parole, less than 24 hours after he was convicted of murder in the shooting deaths of his wife and son. The Colleton County jury deliberated for less than 3 hours after that 6-week trial. They concluded Murdaugh shot his 22-year-old son Paul with a shotgun and his 52-year-old wife Maggie with a rifle on June 7th of 2021. At the sentencing this morning, Murdaugh again claimed that he's innocent.
Mr. Griffin and I would have no comment. The defendant would like to address the court, though.
Mr. Murdaugh.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife Maggie, and I would never hurt my son Paw.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Murdaugh is being immediately taken to the State Department of Corrections intake facility, where he will be assigned to a maximum security prison for the state's most violent offenders. 7 News' Jason Raven's been following the trial for weeks now, and he's joining us live with more on the judge's sentencing from Colleton County. Jason.
Amy, I'm right outside of the courthouse, and behind those doors over there, that was where Alex Murdaugh walked out of this courthouse, a convicted killer. Now, the former attorney, when he was being spoken to by the judge, Judge Clifton Newman, called this one of the most troubling cases he's ever had to preside over, and he also just talked about how Murdaugh was a lawyer. His family had legal ties in this area for more than a century. And now Murdaugh is headed to prison in connection and convicted of killing his wife and son. And you mentioned it, Murdaugh today, he spoke in court. He maintains he's innocent. This is what he had to say to the judge.
I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son Paw.
Well, and it might not have been you. It might have been the monster you become when you take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 opioid pills. Maybe.
And Amy, I've covered cases before where Judge Newman has been the judge, and this was one of the first times I had really seen him have a conversation with the defendant. And he spoke with Murdaugh a couple times as Murdaugh stood in front of him, and he genuinely seemed upset about this whole entire situation.
Is very much letting his feelings be known from where he sits. Also, a juror, we understand, has spoken to ABC News after the sentencing. What are we learning about what the jury was thinking on this?
Yeah, it was an interview that aired earlier today, and basically that juror said that when they first went into the room, there were about 2 jurors who weren't sure whether he was guilty or not, 2 who were on the not guilty side. He said that it took about 45 minutes to kind of talk them into this unanimous guilty verdict that was handed down yesterday. And a big turning point, that juror said, in this case was that kennel video where you could hear Murdaugh's voice in the background. And Murdaugh admitted after, I guess, months, maybe over a year of lies, of telling people he wasn't at the dog kennels right before the murders. He admitted on the stand in this courthouse behind me that he was actually at that kennel around 8:44 the night his wife and son were killed. So that seemed like a game changer for some of the jurors, according to this juror who spoke with media today.
And keep in mind, the family has talked about how they did not know that until that moment. So let's talk about the family. They could have gotten up there and asked for leniency. No one spoke on behalf of Murdaugh. All he did was use his time to say he's innocent. Were you surprised by that, Jason?
Amy, to be honest, we weren't sure what was going to happen today. Buster, Murdaugh's surviving son did testify in his defense along with his brother John Marvin. So they had spoken in court before, but they did not care to comment or have any comment in the courtroom today.
Well, the judge had plenty to say, and that's available to watch if viewers want to check it out on our website, WSPA.com. Jason Raven, we appreciate all the detailed reporting day after day, 6 weeks worth of coverage. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.